The vital puzzle pieces of Boruto's time skip or training arc are finally coming together. Chapter 7 has dropped a very solid hint about a new mentor of Boruto who is surprisingly a familiar face. I'm talking about Orochimaru and how it's very likely for a reunion of the former masters of Naruto and Sasuke for the sake of training Boruto. While Naruto was the child of prophecy for a generation, the role of Boruto as the prophesized kid could be eternal, going beyond the planetary barrier. In other words, he might be responsible for bringing the dawn to the Otsutsuki realm too. And the only two people who could help him to accomplish his destiny are Kashin Koji and Orochimaru. Before going into the complex and symbolic meanings regarding the union of these two, let's look at the most obvious details which act as the basis for this theory. Chapter 7 showed us Boruto telling Mitsuki that he is the real son. At first, this sequence might seem completely normal since we know the backstory of Orochimaru's child and how he wanted purpose in life that he finally got in the form of Boruto. However, the thing which makes this scene a lot more mysterious is that Mitsuki never told Boruto about this sun-moon analogy and how much he means to him. It's not even known to Kawaki, as Mitsuki was shown thinking to himself about the importance of the sun in his life. Kawaki simply thinks Mitsuki is a weirdo for acting so obsessively. The truth was not known by many people, especially Boruto himself. However, he not only revealed to Mitsuki that he is the real son who used to enlighten him, but he also added that Mitsuki had started to notice this himself as well. The sun that meant the world to him at some point lost his charm. The light that it emitted started to fade, and over the course of time, the sun became unrecognizable as if he was a completely different person. And that's actually true, since his real son had switched places with an outsider. But how was Boruto able to be so articulate about what Mitsuki is feeling? On top of that, who in the world could tell him about the sun-moon thing that Mitsuki kept to himself all his life? Well, this hints at Boruto having contact with the person who knows way too much about the snake sage, and this is where Orochimaru comes into play. I believe he must have been working with Boruto and Kashin Koji, and there are a lot more hints which indicate the same. The most obvious one which was dropped in this chapter is the knowledge of Boruto about the secrets of Mitsuki. In the anime, it was shown that Orochimaru can access the memories of his child, and even if he had to die, a clone of him with the same memories was ready to replace him anytime. This gives Orochimaru an edge over omnipotence, with a record of Mitsuki's memories acting as a physical evidence for him to conclude something is wrong. It could be the main thing which separates him from the majority, and considering the fact that he was smart enough to replicate Otsutsuki technology before Amado, he perfectly fits the criteria of figuring out the omnipotence. So the reason I believe he might be supporting Boruto from the shadows has something to do with Kashin Koji. As we know, he's a cyborg of Amado who suffered a lot of damage from the Ishiki battle, but in his latest appearance from chapter 5, he looks completely well and fine. There is no way he would have healed his scars all by himself. He definitely needed the help of a genius who could understand his cybernetic anatomy, and since the only scientist in the story who's capable of competing with Amado is Orochimaru, this increased the chances of his alliance with Koji to a huge degree. If that wasn't enough to prove this, there are a lot more reasons for Orochimaru and Koji to cross paths, and some of them are uniquely pre-written by fate. Just like how Kashin Koji and Boruto's alliance is a callback to Jiraiya and Naruto, Orochimaru's fateful meeting with him pays some homage to Team Hiruzen when both of them used to work as teammates. He would notice at first glance that Koji is based off his old ally, just like how Naruto felt something when he saw the cyborg fighting Ishiki. I like how they sealed Naruto for various plot purposes, with one of them being the delay of his reunion with Jiraiya. Even though it's pretty clear that Kashin Koji doesn't have the memories of his past life, he still feels that he's faithfully connected to Konoha, which means his feelings are still the same. Naruto would have definitely recognized his Jiraiya connection upon meeting him, and looking at how he's helping out Boruto, his reunion with the person whom he used to train in past life would be really exciting to see. But with Naruto getting sealed for who knows how long, I really doubt an impactful reunion would even happen, cause there's a good amount of chance for one of them to die, and I will get into that later. Coming back to the alliance of Orochimaru and Koji, another big reason for them to unite is related to Boruto. A lot of poetic additions were made to Boruto's rogue narrative, like him following the footsteps of Itachi, fulfilling the legacy of Sasuke, or being a true shinobi like his father. Jiraiya and Orochimaru have played a vital role in upbringing Naruto and Sasuke, and both of them uniting to train the young prodigy would be a tribute to the OG story. With Boruto rendering tribute to Koji, Minato, Sasuke, Itachi and Naruto, there's a high chance for him to train under the person who played a significant role in making Sasuke a formidable shinobi. It will also add a little more explanation to the overpoweredness of Boruto. He was trained by the clone of a legendary Sanin, as well as the second greatest scientist of the shinobi world. I hope you remember this panel where Mitsuki talks about the Byakugo seal. He says there are a lot of mysteries surrounding it which are still not understood. I believe this statement acts as a setup for something big regarding the Kama seal and how Orochimaru utilized the otsutsuki formula to create the cursed seals. The only character from the previous generation whom we can expect to have a massive role is none other than the scientist. Not only because he is related to Koji and Boruto by fate, but also due to the fact that Kishimoto has wrote a rival in science for him. The introduction of Amado Sanzu has made Orochimaru look like a child. The scientific miracles that he achieved by experimenting with otsutsuki DNA has put a question mark to the next move of Orochimaru. He was the main person who brought revolution in the shinobi world with his scientific experiments and the study of different jutsus. But now that he will compete with Amado for the title of the best scientist, it's not likely for a brand new character to overshadow his legacy so easily. As we know, every story follows the analogy of duality, every good character fighting a bad counterpart. Chances are the role of Orochimaru is to deal with Amado, who is secretly planning a big game. Not to mention the old scientist is doomed to obey Kawaki just because the karma of AKB resides in his palm. Maybe that's why he hasn't shut him down in the future, simply because both of them are working together. And to save Boruto from missing out the otsutsuki knowledge and scientific breakthroughs, the addition of Orochimaru in his team is the best plot addition in my eyes, so it's highly likely that he found out about the backstory and the suspicion in Mitsuki's mind thanks to his father. Orochimaru's team up with Koji also means that the schemes and plots of Amado are about to be exposed. As I mentioned last time, Kashin Koji's destiny was way more deeper than being a tool used to kill an otsutsuki. He has a free will of his own, and maybe that's what will get him against the person who created him. Amado being unaware of Koji's whereabouts either means that he presumes him dead or has no idea about the potential of his own creation. It can be possible since he was shown to be unaware about omnipotence too. So Koji knowing the truth about AKB and why Amado wants to revive her is something that might be motivating him to help Boruto. The Shinju invasion could be diverting our minds from the real deal which lies in the karma of Kawaki. Orochimaru acting as the helping hand in the forthcoming mind war with Amado will also redeem him of his older sins. The revamp that he has underwent in the new gen, which made him look less intimidating, can be taken as a hint for his vital part in the battle against evil. There is another way for Orochimaru to appear in the story based on the events of this chapter. What if Mitsuki goes to his parent to inquire about the damp in his memories where the truth about Boruto is revealed to him? The theory about alliance could still be a thing if something like that happens. Moreover, if Mitsuki switches up, then I'm sure he will go to Sarada to hear the whole thing. It's particularly easy for him to believe in Boruto considering the sun-moon connection. On top of that, if Orochimaru is actually helping Boruto, then he might even help in training Sarada if Mitsuki proposes the idea of visiting him. It would make Orochimaru the new master of Team 7, justifying his long absence from the story. Now that we are done with Orochimaru theories, let me explain why I believe either Kashin Koji or Naruto might have to lose their life later in the story. So we have seen Jiraiya's clone changing the predestined path of his life when he escaped death and found Boruto years later to fulfill the legacy of his human counterpart. However, by paying attention to what Ishiki has predicted about him, it seems like there is still a chance for his death to happen. His fate has been predestined by genetics, which means his end would be similar to Jiraiya. Coincidentally, the rods that killed the Sanin share a huge resemblance to the one manifested by Ishiki. This means if he hadn't escaped, Ishiki would have doomed him with a fate similar to Jiraiya. But now that Ishiki is no more, you may think Koji can't die like his human counterpart, right? Well, we have a person who not only possesses the DNA of the otsutsuki, but can also emit similar rods in the blink of an eye. So what if Kawaki is about to kill Koji in the future with the same rods, that too at the Kara hideout? You could ask why he would even visit that place. Well, the prologue scene hints at him paying a visit to the Kara ruins just because he wears a Jigen-inspired outfit that he couldn't have obtained from anywhere else. And this would lead to his encounter with the biggest supporter of his arch nemesis Boruto, which builds the basis sacrifices for the fulfillment of Ishiki's prophecy. Kashin Koji dying by those rods, that too by the hands of Ishiki or someone who wields his power, was predetermined. You can only delay the destiny, but you can't deny it. And that was how Kashin Koji could succumb to his inevitable fate, adding another nail to the coffin of Boruto's prophecy. But what about Naruto? How is there a chance for his death? Well, Kishimoto himself once admitted that just cause it's no longer Naruto's show, there is nothing bad in killing him off. Further, he is being targeted by a demonic being who seems to be one of the most powerful villains in the story right now. Even though the prologue gives us some hope for Naruto's fate, there is no guarantee of him surviving the new generation curse. He might take his own life after realizing what Kawaki did to save him, or much worse, it could be that he will turn evil for a very shocking reason. Find out the reason I'm talking about in this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I will see you next time.